And we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation with dun 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 dun. We have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Doctor, it's been such a long time. Look at your hair; it's grown out. You've got a different look from the last time I saw you.
The War Doctor.
It is the War Doctor. What did you think of my performance?
Oh, it was stunning.
All right, I'm going to switch back to something more normal because I can't look at myself. Whoa, this is kind of...
Oh
Oh,
wow.
it's
Okay.
another good one, but hold on. We'll do this. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Now I match you a little more.
All right. Let me
All
adjust.
right, here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're gathered, not live, but live because we're recording this unedited and it's live right now wherever we are. So it's like what we used to do, I guess, kind of like
Yeah.
the old ways.
The
So
old way.
audience, I will be in the chat. This is past me speaking to future me, saying hello. Future me is in the chat right now.
Oh wait. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
So
so
you
you
can
premiere
chat
it.
with people in the future.
Yeah, like we'll premiere this video, and then on Saturday when it premieres, there's a live chat component, so people can chat
Fascinating.
and stuff like that. I don't know if I get premieres. Actually, I don't even know if that works because I don't know if I have enough subscribers to do that. But
You have
we'll give it.
lots of
We'll give it.
subscribers. Yeah.
Yes, we do know. I'm very grateful for how many we have. But YouTube gives you like unlocks like features um as you cross certain thresholds. So I don't know if we've crossed that threshold yet, but I think we will. I think we will.
I think. And
So
speaking of
today we're
thresholds,
threshold, the corridor. Today we're here to talk about the what is it? The 20th episode? 20.
oh, I don't know.
Oh, I have to look it up too. Anyways, it's called the alternative factor, and it's a very famous episode. It's known as being among the not so great episodes of Star
One of
Trek:
the
The Original
worst.
Series. One of the worst episodes of Star Trek: The Original Series. It's
I've come
often
back for real. I'm glad I'm back for this one. So
it's
privileged.
good actually because it's been quite the love fest with TOS. So actually, it's good that we get grounded a little here. Oh, there we go. Look, I'm doing all this unprofessional stuff like changing lighting
Oh, don't worry.
mid. I just didn't like myself in the
Casual and
shadows
informal, right?
too much. Yeah, it is casual and informal. Very, very good. See, Doctor, it came back to you so quickly, didn't it?
That's why we're spiffy.
So, we still do episode summaries. I know you hate them, so I'm sorry. Uh,
Um,
shall I do it or do you want to do it?
what are you going to summarize? There's nothing to summarize. This episode is pure gibberish.
Okay, there you go. That's the summary. I will just say this. There,
It
there's
makes
a
no
human.
sense.
There's a human named Lazarus, and
Yes.
he's from both our universe and an antimatter universe.
The universe of Omega.
Um, what's that?
The universe of Omega.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. It's the headphone. It's these expensive Apple headphones that I. They're the worst. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
Okay, now I can hear you again. Sometimes they'll cut out. I'll let you know when it happens. We'll pause the
All
show.
right.
So, anyways, I was about to say, just real quick, there's this guy from from both our universe and another universe, and I think he's from the future, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think they're just from,
Another
they're
universe.
concurrent with us, but one is from our universe and
And
one
one
is
is
from
from
the
an
antimatter
antimatter, yeah,
universe.
antimatter universe.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, that
Although he
oh
did say they're time travelers. So, yeah, that does make it confusing. It does imply that not only do they travel through dimensions, they're also traveling through time. So, yeah, you're right. They may be from the future.
okay, so all right, well, unclear. I honestly didn't catch it any like specific thing in the episode, but anyways, they're interlocked in this battle throughout time and space, I guess. in which one of them is trying to escape their fate, uh, and the other one is trying to protect the balance of the two universes, and they're constantly like competing with each other to get away from each other. I mean, one is trying to like lock the other one in this what's called a corridor, like
Is it a
like
magnetic corridor?
a
Is that what you call
magnetic corridor. I think yeah, it's true. It's the void. It's void space. Anyways, one of the right. It's like basically it's the void from Doctor Who,
it?
from a
Right,
different franchise.
right.
By the way, shout out to Earl Grey Trekkie 1701. Go subscribe to his channel because he does a he's doing a weekly Doctor Who discussion series, much like this discussion series is about Star Trek. And he started with the Ninth Doctor, so he started with the new
With
era.
Rose.
So
Yes,
with
I
Rose,
watched.
yeah. So we
I subscribed and I watched,
oh excellent, that'll make Robbie
and I
very happy.
gave it a like.
Robbie, if you're in the audience watching this premiere, shout outs to you. But
Good job.
I guess that's because I talked about void space. But anyways, one Lazarus wants to keep the other Lazarus in void space, and the other Lazarus is trying to just kill the other Lazarus and get away to live his life again. One is
Well, no, he doesn't
mad.
even want to live his life anymore. He just wants to. He's crazy, and it's kind of like he cannot he cannot
I totally
live
didn't
with the
pay
idea
attention to
that there is
the.
another version of himself.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. He's
So
just
he is
bonkers.
trying to
That's right.
snuff out. He's trying to snuff out his shadow. Right. He's trying
Yes.
to destroy this antimatter version of himself, and he doesn't care if both universes go. Cannot handle the idea that there is another. He's driven mad by the idea that there is another version of himself. Which, I
Precisely.
mean, what? How
Oh,
would you react if you met the antimatter version of you, and you are not unique?
I
What
wouldn't
would
mind
happen to
the.
you?
I actually wouldn't mind the antimatter version of me because they can't really inhabit the same space or like the same universe as me. So I'd be cool with that. I'm all for mirror universe or multiverse versions of Starfleet Boy. What I am against is clones. Like a clone, I would kill. I would just murder my clone
We're not
if it
going
wasn't
into that
completely
conversation yet.
subservient to me.
We had that last night. We're
Hold
not
your
talking
thoughts,
about
doctor. I
clones.
can't hear you. These goddamn headphones. I'm gonna scream. Hold on. Hold on here.
Do you want me to put my
Give me
headphones
one
on? Is that
second
what it
here.
is?
All right, doctor. You have to make it show just for a second. I can't hear you, but I'll be here.
Okay. All right. So anyways, so these two Lazaruses are in battle with each other, and throughout the episode, uh the crew are picking up small subtle clues as to that there are two Lazaruses. McCoy at one point realizes that wait a minute, there's a cut on Lazarus's forehead, and it's there, and then it's not there. But long story short, is Kirk journeys to this briefly to this antimatter world, and he realizes that the crazy Lazarus, who's been saying, "Oh, there's this terrible, vicious killer who destroyed everything," is really not a vicious killer at all, but he's just this antimatter version of this guy, and he's trying to protect the two universes. And so Kirk agrees to push him before he's ready, and then he goes back to the regular universe and pushes crazy Lazarus into
I can
his
see why this is a
flying
bad.
saucer.
I can see why this is a bad episode of Star Trek. So I'm just gonna skip to the things that I thought were really cool. Because
Okay.
also, obviously, because my headphones don't want me to talk about it or summarize
Do
this
you need me to
episode.
put my headphones on? Is it will that
No,
help?
it's not you. It's
Oh, it's
it's
not you.
me. That's funny. It's
Okay.
not you. It's me.
Word.
Doctor, it's not you.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
I like that we. Okay, so we got. I think this is the first time we actually see the dilithium crystals, if I'm not mistaken, and
No.
that was. Ooh,
Mud's women. Don't we see dilithium?
Oh, does he actually show one? I don't
I
think we
think we
actually
see
see.
dilithium crystals.
I
They
don't
just
think we
look
see.
different.
Well, I love this refined plate look, like a kind of like a thing where it's like they're formed into this
Hmm.
interesting shape. I'd forgotten completely what the TOS Enterprise dilithium crystals looked like. I assumed they looked just like the ones from TNG or whatever. So I was really pleased to see that. It's very cool. I like how they light up. I like that they're like a gold color. Like there's I just kind of like I'm kind of upset that Star Trek went away from this idea of what the dilithium crystals could be and change it to a more, crystalline look
Yeah.
later on. I love this. I don't know why. And also I'm a little I know you don't watch Discovery, but the time crystals were shaped into a similar form and put onto the time suit that Michael Burnham wears. But as far as I can tell, dilithium crystals are still crystals, are crystals like later in, like, and they should resemble the dilithium crystals on the Discovery, I think should resemble the ones we saw in this episode. So maybe they have to go through some sort of refinement process or something to take them
Perhaps.
from their crystalline form and then turn them into this, because we don't actually see them in action. But yeah, that was like the highlight of
That
this
was the
episode.
highlight.
That was well, and also like some of the banter between Spock and Kirk and Lazarus was all right. Like I
I,
thought it
I,
was kind of okay, and I did
I
think it
liked
was
the
cool that we had a female engineer instead of Scotty.
yeah.
Although I like Scotty, but I liked having her and seeing her. She was a character I'd totally forgotten about. And let's give Star Trek some points for casting a black person to play that role as well, not just to her. Like everyone forgets like how diverse Star Trek was, not just diverse because of Uhura, although she was certainly the beacon of it. But yeah, there was like diversity in the cast all the time.
She
Um,
was the original script was going to have a romance between Lazarus and that
and that
character,
character, oh
but
wow,
um, which would have made that kind of the first interracial romance on Star
Shatner
Trek.
vetoed it because
Right.
he
Actually,
wanted.
Gene Roddenberry vetoed it, but only because it was too similar to the situation in Space Seed, where Khan and
Right, another like sort of villain
what
subduing
was the name of
a crew member. I mean those time traveling whatchamacallit villains,
yeah, they're very
they're
alluring.
irresistible. They're
They're
very alluring,
irresistible.
they're irresistible.
Can we
Um
just jump right to the heart of the matter? Is he or is he not a Time Lord?
oh, I see what you mean.
I mean, I'm talking like the outfit. I'm thinking the beard. Is he a version of the
Do you think
Master?
that his time ship was a TARDIS? I don't see,
I th-
that's the part.
I think he was. You know how Omega,
Omega.
engineered the black hole in order for Gallifrey to use the harness as a source.
Is Lazarus the other?
I think Lazarus is one of these early Time Lord engineers, and
Oh.
he tapped into
Fell
that
through.
matter universe that Omega eventually ended up in, and
Only because this episode needs points to boost it up. I'm totally accepting that as a yes. I'm going.
okay,
My answer is yes. This is a
'cause
time.
that crazy goatee man, that has to
This is
be
a. This is a Time Lord who's lost his way. This is like
yeah.
there's a completely mad, gone Time Lord who has an antimatter version of himself.
That's what I'm
Um,
thinking. I mean,
and there's that episode. What is it? There's a Lazarus episode of Doctor Who, of modern Doctor Who, in the 10th Doctor episode. I can't remember
oh,
what
the
it's
Lazarus
called.
man. Yeah, but that has nothing
The
to. That's a
Lazarus Effect. Is it called the
the
Lazarus
Lazarus
Effect?
effect. There we go.
I know, but I
That's
guess
it's a
it's a.
Marquez
I
episode.
guess in a way, like, what is Lazarus, the biblical figure? Like, isn't that what
He's
they're
the one
or the
who's
Lazarus man who
raised
could? But what is the
raised from
Lazarus
the
man?
dead.
Raised from the
Oh, the
dead, like
Lazarus man is a Robert Urich TV show, which I
about someone who
actually
could
love.
live forever, right, or something like that.
No, I have that. It's a really good western. that
Oh,
was
it's a
on
Western.
TNT that he was left. He helped. He saw Lincoln being assassinated, and he tried to stop it. And the people trying to kill Lincoln, the conspiracy, tried to kill him and left him for dead. And he literally gets out from, he crawls out from the sand, and he has no idea who he is. So he's the Lazarus
Oh,
Man.
I totally thought it was something else. I don't know
Yeah,
why I thought it was like an Arnold
great show.
Schwarzenegger movie called The Lazarus Man. I'm not sure why I thought that.
Maybe there is a movie.
But okay, I will go along with that. Lazarus is a long lost Time Lord. There you go, Doctor Who. There's a new episode to do a time travel episode about Lazarus, and you could just do a light reference to this episode of Star Trek. The actor, by the way, Robert Brown, is still alive according to IMDb.
Do you know who the
And
original actor was going to be?
who? I
It was
think I
going to
do
be
know this.
John Barrymore, Drew Barrymore's father.
Oh, I did not know that. No, I did not know that.
He was
That's
going to
cool.
portray Lazarus originally, and he pulled out at the very last minute.
Probably because they tried to put that beard on him, and he thought, "This is ridiculous. I can't go on like this."
I'm a Barrymore. I cannot wear this goatee.
It's a really weird goatee, by the way. I don't think I want to know if it's if it's Robert Brown's actual facial hair, or if it's a prosthetic. I'm going with prosthetic. What do you say, Doctor?
I think it's prosthetic. Yes,
I do too. I think it's
it's
a prosthetic.
Yeah.
But what is Robert Brown famous for other than this episode of Star Trek? Nothing, right?
Not that I know of.
He was in a lot of westerns.
Yes, he acted with other
yeah.
actors on Star Trek. But I'm not aware. I know that there's another actor with his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The guy who played the second M in the Bond movies was also called Robert Brown. It's a different.
But it's okay because it's in the UK, so it doesn't interfere with Screen Actors Guild of America, etc.
What did you think about the whole invasion alert thing at the beginning of the episode, where Starfleet just that's the thing where I think the episode just really it goes off the rails really early for me, and when Starfleet just proclaims, well, actually Starfleet Command contacts Kirk, and they kind of have this discussion, and they're like, okay, the whole universe shook, or I forget what the word.
Well, what it was,
it blinked.
It blinked or winked out, yeah, and Spock's
out.
like, "Save the poetry! I didn't ask for poetry. I asked for facts or something like that," which is really funny. And Spock's like, "I can't describe it any other way." Well,
so Starfleet assumes it's an invasion,
right?
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, is there precedence for this? Does the universe blink in other occasions and we've been invaded? I'm just trying to understand. Kirk and the Commodore seem to agree on this point, like right away. Like it can only be invasion.
This would be a great Section 31 tie-in if they ever do the Section 31 show. I think they should explain the Lazarus episode further. I think they should parallel it and have the same events from their perspective. What I did think was neat about that though was the I did think actually Spock and the science part of it was cool. I didn't expect Star Trek, it's not often that Star Trek uses words like winked out of existence. That's very Doctor Who, since we were on the Doctor Who, subject just before. So I thought that was interesting, but I also liked how I didn't like the effect of the galaxy or whatever it was, the nebula. No, but every time this ship shook, for some reason there was a shot of this nebula, right?
What did that mean?
But it would just appear, right? And they've done this before, because in the pilot you have when they're in time warp, you have a superimposition of space,
the motion of it, but it's I agree.
I think this is the thing that's lost over time. I think when audiences were watching this in much the same way that you watch Greek theater, this effect meant something to them, like it was stagecraft bleeding into filmcraft, you know what I mean, like that
Do you think
kind
they
of a
were trying to
thing.
be artsy? Like they were trying to be like
Yeah, 100%. I really think that they were
or
going for like
psychedelic or something?
a psychedelic vibe, and especially with the antimatter universe and like that effect of like it wasn't quite negative. It was kind of this like bizarre like it's like if they normally film on film, but they were filming like using CCD or something like that, like CCD cameras or I don't know what it was, but it was really bizarre and far out. But I think it was influenced 100% by the counterculture and tripping. You know, Majel Barrett said something interesting about Star Trek, where she's like, "Do you remember those Sci-Fi Channel interludes? Like they would play Star Trek, and then you would get like William Shatner hosting. They're on
Yeah,
YouTube. You can
I
watch them on
remember.
YouTube,
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way. I forget, but Major, when I was doing my research for this episode, believe it or not, I still do research for episodes. I actually do like.
I do too. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I know it doesn't seem like an audience, but we do actually do our research. We just forget to present it most of the time. Um, she said something about how like that specific era, Star Trek could never happen again because of that the fact that it was taking place. I mean, it was being filmed and written in the late '60s, and I do believe it because you can see. To me, this is the counterculture seeping in, like the idea of like even the multiverse thing. Like it's cool. Like in the episode, they say essentially that alternate universes are conceded by science, like meaning they've never traveled to an alternate universe at this point. They will soon. uh
Yeah. Next episode, right?
yeah, no, is it Mirror Mirror already? No, next is
Oh, right.
sorry, the next is City on the Edge of Forever, but
Wow. I could
soon.
have been on City on the Edge of Forever. Instead, I'm here
You still can
on
be. We
this
could
one.
film it right after this. That's the beauty. No one will know. You could just we could just do it tomorrow. It's fine.
On this one.
Anyway, but she said that it like it 100% Star Trek is what it is because it was born in this time, and you can, and like I said, you could see it, like the
Hmm.
idea of even the scientific, many scientific ideas were wild and crazy in the 60s and 70s, and like I think it birthed a lot of things that like that kind of counterculture and like the exploration of psychedelics, but even without the use of psychedelics, people were trying to expand their mind and open
Sure.
themselves up using meditation, whatever. It was just a time of like where of
Timothy
like
Leary and all that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like just people trying to encourage. It was the people encouraging you to open and expand your mind, and I completely think that effect with the galaxy, like or the
Well,
universe,
Lazarus looks
was.
like some Timothy Leary type
He
character
does
almost.
kind of. It's true.
You know.
I do
So
think
yeah,
so. That's true.
I
Um,
totally feel you on that. Yeah, yeah.
and
Absolutely.
if you want to have a delightful experience, go watch this specific episode's uh, uh, short, the Sci-Fi Channel short thing, because Shatner's great as usual, and he says something about antimatter and matter, and goes on this tangent and stuff like that. But even okay, so so that's the thing that I think saves this episode is you can dismiss it for its ludicrousness, and like I think the execution is totally off, but it does
The
have a
execution is
really
off.
awesome sci-fi concept
It
presented pretty
does.
well. I thought, I
It
thought it was presented
does.
well.
I feel like the idea
Just
of, I
I
mean,
take that back. Not presented well, just
right.
presented. It was like a deep. I think it was bigger than they had thought. Like, I think they would. I hope they would have filmed this again. And actually, I wanted to say that I was disappointed in the remaster. And I know there's a lot of people who get mad at me about this, but I think if you have the opportunity to like do what they would have wanted, like sometimes you can like stretch the license, and I think they should have like maybe like created brand new special effects to better illustrate what was happening, in the antimatter universe and with Lazarus. I think they could have redone all of that and it would have been okay with the artist that did it, because I do feel like it was rushed. It was like, well, we could do this, we could do that, but we can't do much else.
Well, I think this episode suffered from deep cuts into the story. I think I read that there's photos of scenes that are not in the final not in the final episode, and everything, especially towards the end, just feels very rushed. Some things are. I mean, this guy falls. Doesn't Lazarus fall from a cliff twice in the
He
episode?
does. By the way,
And
shout out to Vasquez Rocks, because they filmed.
yes,
We know the Gorn episode's what's most iconic for Vasquez Rocks, but this was totally filmed at Vasquez Rocks as well.
yeah. But I feel like this episode just kind of even while they were filming it, I think they realized they just ran out of steam. I mean, Shatner's whole performance, especially in that final discussion he has with the antimatter Lazarus, he's so laconic. He's just kind of like there. He's leaning against the ship and he's listening to all this and just it doesn't phase him at all. You know, he's like, okay, how can I help? It's almost like he's rehearsing for the Nexus. You know, like he's being fed bullshit, and he's like, okay, well, how can I help? I'm here to help you,
I
man.
love that
What can I do
rehearsal.
for you?
Rehearsal for the Nexus.
Yeah, because I mean, really, all he does is
Picard comes through and he's like, "I've seen you before, Lazarus. I know what's going on."
did you know Lazarus comes back?
Wait, in the show?
Not in the show. There is a some years ago, Star Trek experimented with short stories in anthology format, and I think it was called Strange New Worlds. Oddly enough, like the new
The
show is coming out.
oh the anthology. The book is called
The
Strange New Worlds.
anthology
Oh,
series
cool.
was called Strange New Worlds, and there is a short story. I have not read it, but my understanding is that Q gathers together the captains, and they have to save the multiverse,
Why
and
can't we do a
Cisco,
multi-captain story?
and they
They
have
did
to,
it.
it has to
It's
do with the
awesome.
Pa wraiths, and somehow Cisco frees Lazarus.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Like the good Lazarus you're talking about, the antimatter Lazarus.
I don't know. I haven't read the story, so I can't comment.
um, it's interesting that there's always the you know basically this is the setup for the mirror episode, kind of like in terms of thematically, right? Like a good version of yourself and an evil version of yourself, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? Like, and we'll get that illustrated because the whole mirror universe, everyone seems to be like the bad version, the evil version of themselves.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting, and it is again. I think it's an episode that maybe benefits from future episodes using these themes, that where you can like things like what you just like just like wild things like saying like, oh, he's a time lord, but even just that, like, now that the discoveries in the 32nd century, one wonders, like, can they encounter Lazarus if he was from the distant future? Could they encounter Lazarus before he goes on his ill-fated, you know, journey that ends up leading to this collision of matter and antimatter versions of himself? That might be interesting to see, and things like that, because I certainly think that the character was done half well. Like, I really liked the calm, collected, non-crazy Lazarus. I thought he was interesting, and I think Robert Brown did a good job doing that character. The other version, I just thought, like,
Well,
whatever,
he had very little time, I think, to prepare
Yeah, because
his
obviously
defense.
Barrymore,
Right.
it's
His
your fault.
defense. And now let me ask you this: the because the dilithiums are a critical element in the story. So, how can we relate this to? Is there any way to relate this to the burn somehow?
That's a really good question. I could have sworn I saw a well, now we know what the burn actually was, so no, there's no way to relate this to the burn anymore.
Okay.
But but when people were theorizing, I think there were like distant theory, like like what do you call long shot theories that involved Lazarus. I think there were out there
Okay, cool.
when people were speculating. Oh, by the way, the I looked her up. Lieutenant Charlene Masters is the engineer, and she's played by Janet McLaughlin. And let's just click on Janet McLaughlin and see what is going on with her. She sadly passed away, but at the age of 77 in 2010.
Hmm.
And it looks like she was in the movie The 13th Floor. Another one that I've seen, which is Heart and Soul.
Heart and Soul with is that the one with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The Tuskegee Airmen. That's a cool movie.
That's a good movie. That's Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
Let's see here. Cagney and Lacey. She was on like 6 episodes of that. And then
That character never appeared again, did she?
I'm trying to go back. Come on, we're almost there. We're almost there. But she's been in so much. She's had a huge, illustrious TV career here, especially in the 70s. She was like on everything. All right, so Star Trek, it's her only episode, sadly. That sucks. I think that's the same case for the really attractive assistant who was useless in engineering, who Lazarus subdues right away.
Did you?
although,
you know what?
although he does save Lieutenant Master's life later on, so he wasn't that useless. He does save her.
I really enjoyed one thing I did enjoy from the episode was there's a part where Kirk and McCoy are having this conversation about Lazarus early on in the episode, and McCoy's like, Kirk is basically asking, well, where is he? And McCoy is like, oh, it's a big ship. I don't know, and then they cut to the lounge, and Lazarus overhears the talk of the dilithium crystals, and he's leaving, and there's this guy at a table, and he clearly makes eye contact with Lazarus. He's like, hey. And Lazarus is like, hey. And I'm like, what was that? I'm like, that was a whole other. I don't know what that was, but
we also had Test Chekhov in the transporter room. They had like a kid with like
which one?
A moppy.
The one that got bopped on the head.
Bopped on the head. Yeah, he was like Test Chekhov.
He was
just like a Davy Jones type of kid.
You can't be here. You can't be here.
Bonk.
That was awful. The episode sucked.
It isn't the greatest episode. I'm trying to find
terrible.
some. I was really plumbing the depths to find some good things about it. I think the things that we pointed out were really good things about it.
McCoy has a really good comment. I like Kirk's dismissive attitude towards Kirk. I mean, I'm sorry.
McCoy's
dismissive attitude towards McCoy.
Yeah. I like how he's like, get this strong man, or what does he call him? Like this bully, like the security.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, really weird stuff, because I don't think this patient obviously is unhinged and like has already caused trouble and like want security on him, and it proves to be the wrong decision because he gets up, gets out of bed, and then leaves, and then he sabotages the ship.
I know.
Yeah, it's like
what an idiot.
So I don't understand. Like, these were definitely. I guess this is where it is a bad episode, because these are like plot conveniences that were very very well, very poorly hidden, right? Like, it was true.
And I love how the episode ends and Kirk doesn't even bother to call Starfleet and say, "Hey, there's no invasion." He's just like, "Okay, next planet." I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't Starfleet Command say that there's like the whole Starfleet is on red alert for this invasion?
They first think it's just this. They think it's because I mean, imagine the whole solar system loses gravity for just like gravity completely goes to null in the whole entire galaxy. Yeah, that's like the shake happens because for a moment things don't exist. It's like that's what he means by winking out. So I can kind of see like why Starfleet would be like, uh
But why would they think invasion?
that's what I'm
Who
saying.
is so powerful that I mean I don't
I think
the
all right,
Klingons did
you
this?
want to
I don't
hear
understand.
you want to hear what I think? I think this could have been a great way to tie into Picard. I think that's what it should have been is that I think the synthetic
The
Cthulhu or
Cthulhu?
whatever this that what it should have been threatening to do is wink out our entire universe from existence. Like it could have done an anti it would have combined an antimatter and a matter universe and completely obliterated them. I think that would have been a way cooler thing, and so you would have had this, and then Starfleet would have been like, "We know what's going on because it happened. It happened before."
Initiate Lazarus protocols. Invasion.
Initiate Lazarus protocols. There you go. See, like, look at that. We already that would have been a great tie-in. No, I don't think so. I take that back. That would not have been a great tie-in at all. Um, man, I think we did a good job. we did a
We did a
good
great
job.
job. We did a much better job than the people who wrote the episode. I can tell you that much.
I think we did a pretty great job with this episode. What else is there to talk about in
There's
this episode?
nothing else to talk about.
So we didn't have Sulu on the bridge in this episode. We
No.
didn't have Scotty in this episode.
Uhura's there for like 2 minutes.
2 seconds. We had
Spock is there.
Spock is there
Hardly
and
does
McCoy.
anything. Except state the obvious. Kirk, I like his line where he says something to McCoy like, you know, if I had time, I'd laugh or something. I don't know. He's very
Something like that.
very
Yeah,
Kirk.
he's very different in this episode. It's
But
true.
McCoy is
All right.
is
So,
this episode.
so the dilithium was the coolest thing, and let's just look at. I'm gonna look it up real quick and make sure. But I think this was the first appearance of dilithium. And then I guess we should. All right.
Do you still give ratings?
Yeah, we definitely give ratings.
Okay.
Oh wait, on Star Trek. On Star Trek, you have to specify what episode.
And is the range still from 0 to 10?
It is still from 0 to 10.
Okay, but
This is
can I give a rating in the antimatter range? So I
see
give
what-
I give it an antimatter 10
wow.
because it's all the way
So-
on the other side.
That's a -10.
That's a negative 10, right?
Wow, that's really.
Can I give it a negative 10?
I'm forced to give this episode because I can't rate it that low. I'm not gonna go into the antimatter.
You have to bring balance,
system,
otherwise
yeah.
the universes will collapse.
Yeah, but I can. The only way to bring it to balance, which is to bring it to a 0, is I will give it a 1.
And the universe is saved. Thank you.
So this episode gets a 1 from Starfleet Boy. No, actually, honestly, I think I give it a 3. It's not quite a 1. I still, like I said, to me, the science concepts and just like I think the absurdity. I think it's good to laugh. I haven't laughed this hard at an episode in a long
Can
time.
I help you
think
get it to a 1? Can we talk about that flying saucer?
I actually loved that ship when I was a kid, by the way.
What is that? Is that like
The
a
only
prop
thing-
from the Jetsons?
Oh,
What-
I wanted to, since we're past like the major talk and like kind of doing the ratings and stuff, I just wanted to say on a personal note, I don't think I've seen this episode since I was a kid. Like I think whenever it came on again, I just like skipped it, and I'm pretty sure that like I've skipped it on the DVD because I've always known that it's like it's like a whatever
no,
episode. So until this journey, which we're watching every episode, like I don't think I've seen it since I was a little kid because I remembered nothing about the story like at all.
because there's no
only-
story.
Well,
You remembered correctly.
and so I only remembered the ship, which I always thought was very cool. I always thought the ship was a really neat, weird space egg, and I think I know where I've seen it before.
Mork and Mindy.
Yes, it's got to be the same. See, if you knew
No,
it,
but this
you
was
said it
actually an
too.
egg.
I
This
know,
is
but this one's like a eggs. This one's an egg over easy. His is a hard boiled egg, and
it's,
this one's like eggs over easy,
oh, it's
right?
definitely over
Because
easy.
it's got the little thing. Think about how unpractical the ship is, by the way. Also, like it has to be from the future because like it's smaller than a shuttle pod,
Yeah.
right? But it can
Yes.
travel through time and space. It's a TARDIS. That's what it is. It's totally a
That's
TARDIS.
why. Yeah, that's the only way to say
Well, it's
this.
not a TARDIS, but it's Time Lord tech for sure.
It is time
I'll just
tech
say
for
that it is
sure.
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like it. Even it's true. This
I
should have been on Doctor Who. Actually, this should have been the crossover episode. Who would have been the Doctor when this aired? Tom Baker, right?
no. He doesn't take over to the no. This is 60 something.
Oh,
We're
so
talking.
Pertwee.
No.
Is this even earlier? This is
Yeah. This is Troughton.
Troughton's time. Oh, Troughton would have been great in this episode. Could you imagine?
What year is this again? I don't know what year this is.
68 or 69. Hold on.
Oh well, if it's the late 60s, and it's Troughton.
I rediscovered Doctor. You've got to come to Robbie's talks one of these days because. Oh, what just happened? I just closed the wrong screen. Sorry. I rediscovered Scream of the Shotgun. I forgot that there was another doctor, a ninth Doctor.
There's another ninth Doctor. The ninth,
Richard
the
Grant's
ninth
ninth
Doctor is. I think everyone agrees is like a splintered, uh, multi-dimensional event. There's multiple ninth Doctors all over the place.
Well, there's also what's the one Rowan Atkinson? Was he a ninth Doctor also?
You know that he's they consider him a ninth Doctor.
And isn't Lady Helen Mirren a ninth Doctor?
Helen Mirren?
Who was it that played the ninth Doctor? The original female ninth Doctor. Everyone thinks that.
No. She was like the 10th or the 11th.
Oh, who was that?
In that same skit, that was Joanna Lumley.
Joanna Lumley. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, Jodie Whittaker can have that honor. It's fine. Hold on. I'm trying to pull up the year that this was done. It says 67.
Okay.
So this aired in 67. So it would have been the second Doctor.
That would have been second Doctor, Jamie and Zoe, I guess.
That's so perfect. Jamie and the second Doctor and Zoe should have been in this episode. It would have been great. I think
it would have been in color.
I think if they do what would be the next treatment for the original series? It's already 4K ready, right? Like no, this is HD, so it's 1080. Right? They remastered it for 1080. Yeah, TOS.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing would be a 4K. When they do the 4K remaster, I would like to volunteer to be the reimaginer of this episode, and I would like to help the Star Trek team create a brand new version, an alternative version of the alternative factor.
Well, in all honesty, I think somebody should work on finding the original drafts, the earlier drafts, and just kind of
restoring it.
What was
the original? Where did it go wrong?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So
the writer was Don Inglis, I believe is how you pronounce it. And he actually knew Gene Roddenberry from his days in the LA Police Department.
Oh.
And he wrote the Alternative Factor, and he also wrote later on. He wrote
it's Ingalls, by the way, Don Ingalls, I think.
Sorry, Ingalls, and he wrote the Vietnam one, Private Little War, which apparently he didn't like things that were changed in that one, and it went under a pseudonym.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but he wrote for westerns and stuff. So, he wasn't. He was a known writer. He was a good writer of television. I really wish we could find out what What the hell were they trying to do with the story?
Yeah, I
I
think
feel like you're right. I feel like it could have been something good, but it maybe they were rushing to get it finished because they had to move on to the next one. And
and the funny thing is that the director, you can't I wouldn't blame the director
no, no,
because he did The Conscience of the King was his other episode, which is a really good episode.
that's the Shakespeare one. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
Shakespeare one.
Kodos the
Yeah,
butcher.
yeah. No,
And
I think it's I don't know. I don't know why this episode went wrong, but it did go wrong, and it's definitely it goes off the rails. I think in the story development. I think you're
do you
right. The
think
acting doesn't help either. I think I do blame the director a bit in this. I think because we are supposed to be getting the two different Lazaruses,
and it's not that, yeah, it
but
wasn't
he's
that
always
like
crazy.
he's just no, I mean there is a calmness to the other one, but you're right. Like there's
But
not a
he's also a little nutty
plus editing isn't
until the
that
end.
great. I think editing wasn't
The
that great
editing.
either because I think I think the editor might be to the director and the editor together as an entity. I think I would cast blame there because I do think like it is unclear which Lazarus
Yeah, it's
which
true.
Lazarus is there. Sometimes you're right. That's a really good point.
But also
All
the
right,
story because they
all
allow
right.
him
You
to just
convinced me.
wander the
You
ship
got
and
all right. We're back down to a
down to
one.
one.
We're
Thank
down
you.
to your mission accomplished. You're back down to a
There
one.
you go.
Doctor, before we wrap up, I just want to thank you so much. This was a delight.
No, no, thank you. Thank
I hope
you.
the premiere goes well. Future me in the chat and everyone else
As
who's
do
here.
I.
Thank you for being here in the chat. We look forward to hearing your thoughts about this episode. And we'll be back again next week with City on the Edge of Forever, which is an amazing. So it's an alternatively amazing episode compared to this one. I don't think we're going to be giving it any negative or antimatter ratings
No,
on that one. But
no. I
Doctor, of
think that's
course,
a 10. Yeah.
you're welcome to join, and we'll see what happens. Audience, no one knows. This is really going to be in our future here. So, uh, and also thanks to the usual crew, by the way, Fathery from Text Trek. So go check out Text Track. We would have already had another TQIF by the time this video premieres, although it hasn't happened when we're recording this. Also, PJ Boatwreck, who is doing a discussion which also hasn't recorded at the time of this recording, but will have already recorded by the time this premieres. He's doing a review of the Justice League film, the one that was released theatrically before the Snyder Cut comes out. So we're gonna
Oh,
have a conversation.
so sorry. Who interviewed you? Who was the guy who interviewed you?
Oh, that was PJ. It was Boat Wreck.
It's a
PJ,
very good interview. Very good
thank you.
interview.
Oh, thank you. See, PJ, you just got you got a real life reaction right
And I
here.
started
Thank you.
watching the one he did with Sean. I haven't
With
finished.
Sean from Trek, which leads me to promoting Sean Trek on the Trek on the Tube,
Too.
who has also released a ton of videos. He also has another channel called Absolute Bullshit True Greatness,
Yeah, I've watched. Yeah.
which which is fun. And of course, Ian, who is Trek Cat. Go check out his YouTube where he's doing builds. Lego. I think in America we say Legos, which is wrong with an S. It's not Legos. It's just Lego. He observed that Americans say Legos, which would be me. I guess I was the representative of all Americans in that moment, so I apologize, America, for embarrassing you. But anyways, go check out Trek Cat. He's awesome, and I hope you guys enjoyed your break today on Saturday. Thank you, Humbert, for giving the lads a break. We already mentioned Earl Grey Trekkie earlier, but go check out his YouTube channel as well. And I think I got everybody. Oh, and of course, thank you, audience, for joining us. As always, we really appreciate you. Please don't forget to smash the like button if you like this discussion. Subscribe if you want to see more. Tell us what you thought in the comments. We love comments. I'm a little behind, but I may catch up. Hopefully by this Saturday, I'll have caught up on all the comments. So I appreciate everyone. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, sorry, one more thing. Happy birthday, LeVar Burton, today during recording. It's his birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
so Yeah, and so now we
Happy
can say
birthday to him.